Welcome everybody to the 2023 Volvo V60 Cross Country. This is basically the wagon version of the S60 sedan, and this being the cross country makes it a bit more rugged because it has a lot more cladding running around the car, and it's meant to be taken on roads like these, to your farm, to the estate, or basically anywhere you want to explore. This car can do it all. Let's see how this car is. The front end of the V60 Cross Country has the typical Volvo family look, and it's not a bad thing. It's one of the smartest looking cars on the road, as applicable to all Volvos on sale right now. It's got the traditional family grille, full of chrome. This one, see, doesn't have the R design. When you have the R design, it's all smoked out, but this chrome actually looks good and stately. One of the few cars that chrome works really well on. You've got the signature Thor hammer headlights, and you've got some cladding on the front of the bumper because this is the Cross Country, and since this is also because the Cross Country, the approach angle is a bit more and the ground clearance is a bit raised, so you can take it on some obstacles and you won't scrape the front bumper on this very model. Otherwise, it's a very smart looking car, and especially in this paint we have the denim blue color. It looks really good, and what can I say, I'm personally a big fan of the way this car looks from the front. The rear of the V60 is when you realize that this is an estate. Let's not forget, the S means the sedan, the XC60 means the crossover, and the V is the estate, and this is the estate. This being the Cross Country, it has some cladding on the rear bumpers as well to give it that a bit more of a rugged look. It's got the signature Volvo taillights, which I'm personally a big fan of, and it looks amazing at night. You've got some basic badging, so the Volvo badging, the V60 and the B5. So the B5 means it's the petrol motor with a very small mild hybrid, but more on that later. What can I say, Volvo has been the king of the estates since the early 2000s and the mid 1990s, and they still, I feel, are the king of the estates. They just know how to make a good looking wagon. The side profile of the V60 is when you truly understand the wagon credentials this car has. It's got a very nice looking 3/4 of the car, very thick C-pillar, but again, that's meant for storage, and because of that, it means it has a very big boot. Without folding the middle row, you can put in lots of luggage. 2 big suitcases, easy. The front end is very well merged to the rear, and it looks very good. You've got fabulous looking 20-inch alloy wheels, which are actually an option. The standards are 19-inch, which look decent, but these 20s I feel are the ones to go. It lends a very nice stance to the whole vehicle. Since this is the Cross Country, you can also see there's lots of cladding all over the car, so cladding around the fenders, cladding around the side, under the doors, and some more towards the rear fender as well. What is also different is because on the side you can find a bit of an aluminium finish which has Cross Country embedded onto it, which I think breaks the monotony, and it looks really good. What can I say? Volvo again has been the king of the wagon, and this is one of their best work. Now I'm inside the V60 Cross Country, and it's such a lovely place to be. Honestly, the perfect matching of the seat color with the exterior, I think it's a perfect spec, and kudos to whoever spec'd this car. It looks really good. The seats themselves are supremely comfortable. You've got lots of adjustments of lumbar and, you know, under thigh supports. You have the extendable under thigh supports as well, which is really nice, especially helps in long drives. The steering is very nice. It's a bit on the thicker side, but it's very minimalistic. So you've got 4 buttons here and 4 buttons here. That's it. This is for the cruise control. This is for the audio and, you know, shifting through tracks. The steering itself feels very premium. It's extremely nice. It's very nice quality of leather. You've got lots of leather all around. You've got leather all the dashboard, and you've got a lot of wood as well, which again, it's an option. You can choose different kind of shades of wood you want. This particular shade I really like. It's like a very ash brown wood, and I really like it. It feels really premium, and you can open this slider to get some cup holders, and you can open this as well for a very small pocket as well. One thing that really stands out in this car also is this crystal gear lever. Honestly, it looks really premium. It really stands out in this car, and I think it has a small glow as well at night, which lends it a bit more of a premium feel. You've got a lot of gloss black here, a lot of gloss black on the center console, which is dominated by this very big 10-inch screen. It literally does everything: your audio settings, AC controls as well, which can be a bit annoying. It's a bit laggy, especially if I turn it, see, so it's sometimes a bit laggy, but It's not that bad. It is a bit distracting though when you're driving, so you do have to take your eyes off the road to control settings. Otherwise, what can I say, it looks so premium, feels very premium, and it's so comfortable. One thing which is an additional bonus is the Bowers & Wilkins audio this car has as an option. You can see the aluminium finish on the doors, and you've got a very big logo on the dashboard as well, which lends some audio as well. It's a tweeter if I'm not wrong, and it sounds so good. What can I say? Small things like the AC vents and everything also complement the whole ambience of the interior perfectly well. I'm now in the rear seat of the V60, and it's honestly a great place to be. The seats themselves are really comfortable. Honestly, the backrest is so nice and so comfy. It's so cushiony that you can sit here a very long time. Under thigh support is a bit on the lacking side, and this seat is adjusted for my driving position, and I have a lot of knee room. Foot room is not the best to tuck in my shoes under the seats, so you might have to sit a bit upright, which is what causes the lack of under thigh support. Headroom is very sufficient. I'm 5'8", I have a lot of room. You have a very big panoramic sunroof which extends all the way to the rear, which lends in a lot of light to the interior. The interior shade brightens up the whole ambience of the interior, and it feels really premium and very nice. You've got big windows with the privacy glass. You've got the Bowers & Wilkins audio as well, and you've got quite a few AC vents. So you've got 2 AC vents here, and you've got 2 AC vents on the pillar each as well, which is again a very cool feature. You do have heated seats for the rear as well, which is very thoughtful, and you've got nice seat back pockets to load some small stuff on the back as well. What can I say? It feels really premium. One downside I'd definitely say is that the middle hump is actually pretty tall, so the middle passenger will have to adjust a bit to fit inside, but not a deal breaker because most of the cars in this segment have it. You do have an armrest as well. You can rest your arm, and if you open this, you have cup holders as well. Very thoughtful planning and packaging by Volvo in the rear here. I'm now behind the wheel of the V60 Cross Country, so let's get the numbers out of the way. This has a 2-liter turbocharged petrol engine mated to a very small mild hybrid motor, which helps with fuel economy and at idle and with stop start. So a combined power output of about 250 horsepower. This does have a 8-speed torque converter, and it's all-wheel drive, so it's extremely useful for rough stuff in the terrains like I am right now with the car. So let's see how this car drives. Move the fancy crystal gear lever into drive, and off we go. And you'll instantly notice this car rides really well. Honestly, you can drive it through Toronto potholes or any of the rough stuff, and it handles everything with such expertise. It's so nice. Hardly anything filters into the cabin. You'll find the odd bump which will have a very unpleasant knocking sound inside, but that's about it. The seats soak up everything really well, and honestly I'm in a very bad patch right now, and I can hardly feel anything, which is so commendable of how Volvo has tuned the whole suspension package of this car. And since this is the Cross Country, it is a bit more lifted compared to the regular V60, so you have a bit more ground clearance and you're sitting a bit more higher up. What can I say? It feels so good. The engine itself is very punchy, and there are no drive modes, surprisingly. No sport mode, no off-road mode, so you can't actually do anything. It is what it is, and you just floor it and you go. I wish it had sport mode because I feel like this engine could do a bit more with a bit more of an aggression. There's lots of torque in the rev range, so if it could be exploited a bit more, it would have been absolutely amazing. One downer I find though is that parking this vehicle sometimes is very difficult because there is no 360 camera, so you only have to rely on the sensors and the rear camera, and even the mirrors dim down, both mirrors dim down, so it becomes a bit difficult to park it in tight situations. Otherwise it's really good. The brakes are fantastic. The brake pedal feel is top notch, absolutely perfect, and they stop on an anchor. The steering feel is absolutely top notch. You can have a lot of fun with this car in the corners. Honestly, this car can drive so well. I'm on tarmac now, and you can see I went over some bumps and nothing, absolutely nothing filtered into the cabin. It drives so well. And to top it off, the bonus, the fuel economy. When you're cruising on the highway, you can easily get 8.5 liters per 100, which is amazing for a car of this size and capabilities. In the city, it'll be about 10 to 10.5 liters per 100, which is again amazing and not a deal breaker at all. Volvo has nailed it all. The driving characteristic is just perfect. In conclusion then, the Volvo V60 Cross Country. Well, what can I say about it? It's such a complete package. It looks really good. It's extremely practical. I have the boot open and I'm sitting so comfortably in the boot. When you're exploring, when you're tired, you can perfectly open the boot and make yourself comfortable in the back, have a chat, have a snack, you can just relax. The car, however, is a bit pricey. At around $72,000 Canadian, it's a bit pricey, but it has some options ticked. If you take the base car, it's around $65,000. But the options that this car has, I think it makes it a bit more attractive, like the Bowers & Wilkins audio, the 21-inch alloys, and the massage seats. Those are very much nice to have features and something I would definitely tick. So I take in consideration with all the options the $72,000 price, which I think is a bit steep. The only other rival this car has is the Audi A4 Allroad, and I've not driven that car yet, so I can't say much, but as a whole, this car makes a very strong case of wagons in the market. Not many in the market, but whatever there are of, this makes a very strong case. And in fact, if this can do all the rough stuff and take all your luggage and take your family, why do you need the crossover? It kind of makes the XC60 redundant. If I were in the market, I'd probably choose this car. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.